Okay, let's talk about Nepal now. What's really going on? Well, social media has been banned. Our prime ministers and his cronies and basically all the political party members and their children are living luxurious life. A minister's vehicle hits a kid, and the vehicle and the minister they run away. But the prime minister is more concerned about the obstruction that people's frustrations caused, because his party's convinced and the obstruction is there. He's more concerned about that than being concerned about the girl. The minister and whoever was driving that car, they literally are criminals. It is against the law to, when you hit a person and then you run away, it's even more severe. The minister did not get out of the car to check about the girl or take her to the hospital or do anything about it. And why would he? Nothing really happens in Nepal. He doesn't need to care about people, does he? No one says anything about it, no one talks about it. So that's why he did it. And Prime Minister is more concerned about his party and what goes on his party rather than being concerned about the country. And that's how it is really going. And and also the Prime Minister knows, KP Oli, he knows that as long as he's funny and he's sarcastic, people will forget what has happened and they will vote him. The young generation, like people like you and me, we forget, don't we? We go from one meme to another meme. Well, when the social media was legal, that is, or not banned. And then we forget what they have actually done or what their policy is or what their manifesto actually says. Like, how many of us do we actually remember what MLA party stands for? Like, what is their ideology? And no one really talks about against the party or against the government in our country, because the journalists, the traditional news media, they are aware what happened to Dekendra Thapa and Uma Singh. They are aware of that, and many other journalists. So they are rightfully scared of their lives and their family life, because all these goons who are all these party members, they will come out and they will basically threaten to kill you or kill your family. And those are the same goons who know how cruel, narcissistic and Machiavellian those politicians are. And because of the situation they cause, those same goons will one day have to leave the country in hope to find better future somewhere else. But they are the same people who will force innocent people in villages to vote for a certain party, who will force their family to vote for a certain party. And this political crisis, the awareness crisis in our country is so rampant that, like, if one family member in the extended family belongs to one party, like if he or she is a party member for a certain party, they will literally vote for that party rather than thinking about, okay, what does this leader stand for? And what does he want? What does he represent? Does he actually represent us? So yeah, there are a lot of problems in our side as well. And so when we vote, we got to be very clear who we're voting for. So when the people of Kathmandu voted Balan Saha, I think they actually understood what he stood for. Otherwise, everyone was saying, even the older people, they were going and saying, oh, he's a gazedi, he smokes weed, he does drugs, he uses foul languages when he talks or when he makes music. He does not know how to run a government, or he does not know how to run an office. But now he's running Kathmandu Metropolitan very, efficiently. Yeah, there are problems, but it is working in our country, which is unexpected. And the electricity, the situation with electricity in our country. Few years ago, no load shedding, no blackouts. We're good. Because there was one guy who came and then he literally fixed all the problems. But then he was kicked out, and then we're back to the old problems that we have. And how many of us are vocal about it? Like, even I am guilty of not being vocal about it. And we all are guilty of not being vocal about it. But now, the situation has become so worst that we do not have freedom of speech. You cannot talk against the government, because apparently talking against the government is talking against the country. But that is false, because government is not a country. Government represents a country, but it's not a country in itself. In the same way, politicians are literally just people like us. They were elected to represent us and what we want, not what they want or what their family wants. So yes, the social media is banned because the government is genuinely scared now that the criticism, that the free speech that exists in the social media, that they cannot control, and they want to control it. Because at the end of the day, we live in a multi-party authoritarian government. We don't live in a democracy. Like, no one voted for Prachanda to become prime minister or KP Oli alone to become a prime minister. We do not choose our prime ministers. We only choose the leaders, the MPs, and whoever is the party chief becomes the prime minister in our country. And it doesn't matter what party you vote for. It's only those three main political party with those three people who will rotate. Like, they go on a rotation. And the only reason we have election is basically to see who will get to sit on that throne longer. And the situation has become so worse that people are now saying, okay, we need to bring the king back, to dethrone whom like 17,000 people had to lose their life. And so what does this demand? What do we need? I think we need to be vocal about it. We need to go out and we need to talk about it. So social media, they are not only taking away our freedom to express, freedom to talk about things, but they are also taking away our only window to see the outer world. Without that, we are unaware of what's going on in the world. And in this day and age where everything is global, we need to compete with global companies, global talent, and global power. We are basically fighting for, what post can someone share in social media and what they can do or what they cannot do. And why can't we make memes about the politicians? Why? Are they any like different human beings? But we also have this feeling, like us Nepali people, we also have this feeling within us that when we see a mayor or a politician, we literally try to touch their feet as if they are God or something. But they should be the one doing that to us because we are the one who elected them. But we feel so sorry, we feel so helpless in front of them that they know they can get away by doing anything. So next time when you go to a metropolitan office, or when you go to a Gaupalika or Nagarpalika, or whenever you go to any government building where you have to get something done, go and be very confident as to what you're doing and tell them what needs to be done. Because if you just think that, okay, we will do revolution, we'll bring the king back and the problems will be solved, that is not going to solve the problem. The bureaucrats, the corrupt bureaucrats will always be there. The politicians who are corrupt, they will also be there. The parties will all be there. And now you have to well up a politician, but later on you'll have to well up a person who is close to the king. That is the only difference. And yeah, they will also take away our resources. Like the politicians, they don't care about the resources we have in our country. All the rivers are being stripped away from all the stones and gravel that we have. And where does it go? It goes to India. And even this social media bill or policy or whatever, it is not a unique thing that our government came up with. It is something that they copied from our almost fascist neighbor India. They are copying it from them, because in India, if you are someone who criticizes the government and if you are in Twitter or Facebook or something, yeah, the government can contact those companies and basically get them removed or banned from those platforms. And that is literally what our government is trying to do. And I know there are some older people or even young people who think this might be a good thing. Like, why are the companies not registered in our country? Why don't they have representatives in our country? So that is what we need to ask. We need to ask for representatives in our country, and they are registered and they are paying tax. The only thing they don't want to do is basically succumb to all kind of crazy policies that the Nepal government tries to implement. Yeah, those social media problems, certainly they have a lot of problems. They are very openly racist. Like the racism in the social media platform is very rampant. They do not have any control over it. It is bigoted. Even the people who are in control of those companies are like that as well. But at the end of the day, in our country, what we need is we need a way to express our thoughts, our feelings, our opinions, and we do use those social media. And not only that, a lot of businesses are dependent on social media. A lot of people make their livelihood using social media, and that is for good, because if that does not exist, what else is the option in our country? We do not have any other option in our country, and there are a lot of creative people in our country, and they need a place where they can go and show their creativity to the global audience. And they are making really nice livelihood doing that. And now it's been banned on what? On a false pretense that they are not registered. They use the word registered. They do not say on what thing they are not registered. Like, are they not registered as a company in the country, and they are not paying tax, which they are, by the way. Or are they just not following certain policy that a government or a certain leader wants to implement? And that guy, that minister, he's so coward that now he has increased the security around him because he knows genuinely that people are frustrated. And rightly so. Like, they keep on saying, oh, Nepal is a poor country, so we don't have a lot of resources, or we don't have, our economy is not strong enough to for us to take care of our health system, our education, or youth mobility schemes, or basically investment in youth and their education, and basically all the other ideas that the youth come with. But it is a false idea. If you go to a metropolitan office and then ask them what is the budget in a year and how much of that budget was actually used, you will be shocked, you will be surprised. Not even 50% of the budget gets used. So why don't we use all the budget? Why don't we do the work? Why don't we invest? Like, how long will we be happy as long as there is a view tower on top of a hill and there are a few temples being built? Is that necessarily what we need? Do we not have tall mountains and hills for us to get the clear view of the country or of the place? Do we actually need a view tower? How about our infrastructure? How long are we going to be happy with being called the world's most dangerous road or world's most dangerous airports and all that? It's all frustrating, and no wonder why people want to leave the country, especially youth. It's not a surprising thing. But now that they have taken away one freedom that we had, and it is our constitutional right, and they have taken that away. So if you want to raise your voice, go out and raise your voice. Don't be violent. There is no necessary to do violence or be violent against anyone, because if this protest becomes violent, then they will have an excuse to use violence from the other side, and the consequences of that will be very high. It will be rampant. So we need a kind of revolution in our country. We need the youth to actually push and demand and vote for the policies that they want. And if you want to be a leader, go out and be a leader. Don't listen to those, even your family members, if they say you cannot be. They are willing to send you to a foreign country, thousands of miles away, so that you go to education, go to university by yourself, find work by yourself, live your life by yourself, and even, start a business or whatever, but they cannot trust you to do something in your own country. So what kind of trust do they have? They're actually hiding. They just want to show to their neighbors that, oh, my kid is in foreign as well. And that is also something that we need to address. There are a lot of problems in our society, but our society can also stand together. Our communities can stand together without considering what race you come from, what religion you follow, what ethnicity you are, what caste you have. Without considering all those things, we can come together and make our voices heard.